Good morning and welcome to the Leadership and Insurance podcast. I am your host, Alex Bond, and I'm very lucky to be joined by LeX Tan, who is the CEO of MotionsCloud. Lex, how are you?
I'm fine, Alex. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, no, not at all. Thank you. And we've already talked just beforehand that you are upstaging me by being very well dressed, and I'm very casual. And it's a reminder that I need to remember that I do work in the insurance side and the tech side. So I'm looking a bit tech today, but not very insurance, I think. So thank you for upgrading our recording by looking sharp. So thank you for that. Well, look, Lex, we've obviously spoken before, and I know the MotionsCloud business, but it'd be wonderful if you could introduce yourself and what it is that MotionsCloud do.
Sure. I'm Lex, founder and CEO of MotionsCloud. I'm originally from Malaysia, and I've been in Europe for over 8 years. I'm running MotionsCloud almost 6 years in Germany, and well, my background, I was an insurance claim manager over 5 years, and now in the insurance industry in the claim sectors almost 10 years. So before I started MotionsCloud, I was an insurance claim manager, very motivated. I wanted to improve the process, have a great customer experience. But then last time I tried to improve the process. But then it kind of claims costs and claim optimization is one of the last thing they want to do. But of course, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, I really decided I left the industry and do not wanted to go into it again. But then the InsurTech wave came, and I said, hey, maybe this is a right time actually. Instead of trying to change internally, why not I change externally and helping the insurance company? So that's the reason that I founded MotionsCloud. So MotionsCloud, focusing on claims automations, where we're using artificial intelligence, computer vision technology, and augmented reality technology to actually help an insurance company give a consumer a very easy way for them to capture first notice of loss, to get all the information they need as early as possible. And especially, you can imagine when there's a car or property damage, they can snap a few photos through the web app. It's not an app, it's a mobile web app. So they can call the insurance company, they can right away get a link, and right away take the photos. And then this augmented reality can help them to take the right picture in the right angle, just like an expert or adjuster. So means the pictures are taken is quality and standardized. And in that way, also help our artificial intelligence engine to actually assess these standardized pictures and came up with the assessment in minutes. And then after that, insurance company can decide to send this evaluation and assessment to the clients or to the policyholder or claimants directly, or they can review first before they can approve and so on. So this is primarily how we started MotionsCloud in the InsurTech space. And of course, this also evolved gradually to property, to smartphone insurance, to luggage insurance, and now to fleet insurance. And that is integrated with IoT device and also telematics of the car as well. Yeah.
Wow. There's a lot there. I want to get into. I love it when people have worked in claims. I was telling you this before, and I bore everyone with it. I worked in claims before. And I was making this point yesterday, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it, actually. And then I'm going to dig into some stuff. Are you surprised that we've not seen more developments in claims technology? Because a lot of the InsurTech is about, we're building things for the customer. And I'm like, well, claims is the big customer engagement point. Are you surprised we haven't seen more investment in insurance technology businesses that specialize in claims?
There are some, yeah. We are one of them.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And of course, it's not so much player in this area, compared to, let's say, the digital brokerage or digital sales channel, right? There's a lot more. And of course, that is more like a sales engine. Of course, claim is very specialized. You need some special people like us,
Yeah,
to really dig into very precise on each and everything about claims. So there are a couple of companies in the different regions actually coming out, and which is a great validation for us that this market is evolving and getting merged. And of course, we also get many insurance company. Our customer actually validated our ideas and also thinks that this is what they needed, and they also agree that this is what the industry needed in this direction.
Yeah, it feels like one of those companies as well. Like I think the claims technology piece, because it's not something that if you didn't work in insurance, I think it's unlikely that you would build this business if you have to. Whereas like distribution, digital brokerage, embedded insurance, all of that stuff makes sense to anyone, I think. But do you think you had to have worked in insurance to come up with a claim solution? You just
this is I am in the claim industry, and also my another co-founder actually also in the claims industry. He's a former CEO of a claim management company, a TPA.
Yeah.
So we both of us we are kind of leading the company in the claim space, and of course we are another two co-founders. A technology geek and nerd. I would say it's a good one. They do things in the best way. So in this kind of combination, it can help us to drive the insurtech. That's good. It's a two-person of us insure, and then the other two-person is tech. So insurtech.
Yeah. Nice. You need. Yeah. It's good combo. Yeah. It's always interesting. So how did you know each other? Had you and the other co-founder from the claim side, had you all worked together before, or did you just know each other as friends, or?
This is a very interesting story. Since I'm not. I was. I came to Europe like 8 years ago, and then I had an idea. I have an idea just like this MotionsCloud, and then there was like one entrepreneurship event, and then I was there pitching this idea actually. I think it was 2015. And then that time I'm actually pitching it, and then I try to recruit person. So it is an entrepreneurship space event. I don't expect any insurance company going to be there or any people related to insurance going to be there. And luckily, my co-founder, Alexis Hanker, he was there. He listened to the idea, and he's like, he was the CEO of a claim management. He was like, hey, this is a good idea. Then he actually tried to mentor me. Yeah.
Wow.
And then mentor. I was like, and then after that, he actually had some issue with the existing company. And I was like, hey, why don't you join us? He was like, yeah, why not? Yes. Then he joined us, and then after that, of course, I also recruited my long-term friends. My background is a computer technology background. I also know how to code. That time. So and then I know these two friends like AI scientists and senior software developers. I tell them the ideas, and then I have Alexis in. It's like, wow, can be a home run. Okay, great team. Then we come together, and then we started MotionsCloud. That's the story.
Fantastic. I always like telling those stories, because I speak to lots of people with good ideas, but they haven't got the team. And without the team, you struggle to get any investment. You struggle to get it made. So it's always kind of interesting to see how people find each other. And it tends to be, we know people, but it's interesting when there is a kind of connection that isn't that as well. So that's fascinating. I wanted to go back to how the technology works.
Sure.
So break it down. There was lots of the buzzwords there. There was lots of augmented reality, data science, artificial intelligence. On a sort of practical level, just to talk us through the claim again. So someone has a claim. You started in motor, didn't you? It was a motor first product. Right. And then I don't just take a photo, it tells me where to take the photo as well.
Right. Yes, that's right. So the main channel today, whenever you have a claims, right, most of the channel people call in. You can have an app or like a chatbot, everything that's fancy online, but in the end, most of people still calling in and say, hey, what should I do? Hey, just get it done, whatever, right? And of course, this is kind of urgent, right? Claims my precious car, I need to get it done. Right? And then, of course, once the call in, right? The call center or claim adjuster or the TPA is actually serving this. They will just click a button and send a link to the claim or to the policyholder. And then they just click on the link, open up the web app. So on the mobile phone, open the web app. No need to install anything. It's white label solution. So it will be white label to, let's say, Generali or whoever insurance company. And then after that, they click on it, open a web browser, and then then there's some guideline like what kind of pictures that we need. Then you click, I say, okay, I have a damage on the front side, right? That if you have a front side damage, you should take it in this way. So there's an AR guidance there, and I say, hey, you should move it a little bit here and there, and then snap. Move it here and there, snap. Unless you have a bumper damage, this is how you should take the bumper. This is how adjuster do it, so you can do it.
Yeah. It's amazing. I think it's amazing. It's such a like. Why I'm so amazed by it is it sounds in a way, I know how complicated this is to do from a kind of technical point of view, but it's such a simple and obvious application of technology, because, what everyone the reason everyone loves parametric insurance is the instantaneousness of action. And I was moaning the other day, I've got new health insurance, and they were very excited, and well, I wasn't going to say that I don't work with Vitality, so I don't care. It was with Vitality, and they're very excited to tell me about their app, and they were going, it's an app. It's not an app. It looks like an app, and then you press it, and then basically you have to send an email. That's what it ends up doing, is you send images via an email, and then they authorize payment. And I was like, how are we in 2022 and I can't just take a photo of my, it was a receipt, and then send it and it's done. So, you taking it to such an advanced level where you're taking a photo of the damage, and then presumably they can therefore just authorize it, or they send out an adjuster for further inspection. Is that how it typically works?
Yeah. So after you take the photo, standardized photo according to the guidance of the AR guidance, then you will send it over to the server or to the cloud, AI cloud that actually that built and connected to the insurance company. Then they will actually scan the AI cloud, scan it, and it came up with an assessment. So the assessment usually take minutes. Then after that, this assessment will actually send it over to the insurance company. Claim manager behind the scene actually can review it, and they can decide, this is actually pretty decent, and then can actually trigger the cash settlement proposal or repair settlement proposal, or actually send out somebody because maybe there's a potential fraud, or maybe they have a lot of internal damage that has been not detected by the artificial intelligence, because there's always limitation on this, right? Because it is only a visual inspection. Maybe there's some internal damage that has not been discovered. So for that reason, then somebody can send out the adjuster, or we can guide them to the authorized repair shop that's around the corner, and they can go there and then get their car fixed. Yeah. And then of course, there's a back process as well. Claim manager may also send this a pre-estimation to the garage, and garage can take a look and maybe try to source the part already and try to fix the car.
It has massive implications on things like reserving. Like the accuracy of the reserving must be superb when using something like this. I'm so fascinated because it's so what I do. I used to do motor fleet, so I was just thinking, everything is what you want to move away from is where you have anything that has manual entry from claimants. Every year they always put in the insurance press like really funny motor claims forms, where the one that always sticks in my head is a guy swerved to avoid a badger, and they're like, who's at fault? And they were like, the badger. And and it's just stuff like that, people telling you the story. Whereas this kind of, I know it doesn't tell you what's happened, but it can show you the damage. Are there partnerships that you could draw and take this one step further? Because I'm thinking there's technology out there that kind of tracks CCTV, satellite imagery, to the point where you could combine and you could almost determine the fault of an accident by imagery have you tried to explore those types of partnerships? Is that something you could foresee in the future, where it's almost like they can decide who's at fault, the amount that needs to get paid out, all from kind of the imagery?
We have already sort of partnership in place. So we kind of go one step further, because the computer vision technology is as good as what you see. Yeah. But there's a lot of things that you can't see from the photo, right?
Of course. Yeah.
And in order to solve this problem, or try to cover more use cases like internet damage, so we go one step further to partners with IoT device providers, OEMs that also produce this, and also connect to the OEM directly, telematics car platform. So in this case, with all this data that we can get from the car, like the acceleration, deceleration, the braking point, the direction, and then we can measure the impact. And with this, we can actually accurately estimate the internal damage. And again, with this also, we can actually get the first hand of the data as early as possible before the accident go further and worse. Yeah. And of course, before the fraud happened.
Yeah.
Fraud happened only after the accident, not at the accidents. Yeah. So
Amazing. Yeah, I'm fascinated about the partnership. So you just announced a few partnerships as well. I saw the Generali partnership that was announced. That's obviously quite visual. How does the consumer see it? Is it typically, do you sell it as a white label product? Are they aware that they're using MotionsCloud? How do your relationships work with your insurers?
So they usually do not know MotionsCloud behind it.
Yeah.
So if they know it, they just wish all the insurance company using it. So it is a white label solution. So it white label to the brand, look and feel, just like the brand of the insurance company. And then we are serving the insurance company. We're helping them. So it's white label, and also we can also very customize towards the workflow of the insurance company, because each and every insurance company, sometimes they have a different workflow, different kind of core system, different kind of interfaces and others. So this also we actually built our platform and also technology in a way that is so flexible, can be customized for each insurance company.
And are you based out of Germany? Is that what?
Yes, that's right. In Munich.
Yeah. So where are you geographically selling this? Internationally, I'm interested really, I suppose, in understanding, where is there specific geographies that are more keen to take this up? Is there a sort of theme of who's adopting this most quickly? Because it's such an obvious kind of solution for me. I thought if insurance companies aren't making this technology or buying in your competitors, I'd be stunned, because it's just such a sort of good solution. So is there a sort of theme where people are adopting it faster?
So first thing first, we actually operate in different regions. So we are serving clients in Germany, in Austria, in Switzerland, in Italy, in Romania, and in the US and Southeast Asia. So this is where we operate and we serve our customers. And of course, our main team is in Germany and in Southeast Asia. So we have both regions. We have teams there. If you look at the sweet spot, what are the corporates or customers that actually can adopt this quickly? Of course, not all the insurance company are ready for this, because the various reasons. Like for example, they still they are in the transformation phase. Their core system just not ready to integrate with anything, or their core system are still quite old. It's hard to integrate. I mean, we can find ways still to work with them for sure. Yeah, it's just that they may take a bit time to get adapted to that. But the good things about us is we can work with a big insurance company, small or even mid. I mean, you see, most of our clients are actually mid-size. And generally is big size, and we also have small size. So of course, working with a big insurance company, you need a bit more capacity in terms of the bureaucracy in terms of the all this contract, all this interpretation side. So a bit more approval layer compared to the other kind of companies.
Yeah. And I'm interested to hear about the startup community, because obviously we talk a lot about startups and a lot about insurtech startups. Have you worked with any of the kind of insurtech startups? Have they come to you? Because this is the sort of thing that they're always talking about: customer first, customer centric, best use of technology. So have you worked with any startups in this space as well?
We actually work with couples of partnership with couples of insurtech startup as well. For example, Lamia Direct is actually from Austria. They are actually digital insurtech. They're actually selling phone insurance, and we're also working with one company, insurtech as well, a digital broker as well in Switzerland. So we're working with a couple of them, and we also, because we see a different kind of value that how we help each other. Like we help them on the claim side, they help us on the scaling side, and so on. And also we kind of act like an enabler for the insurtech as well as for all the big incumbents as well, that we can enhance their operations, their value, USP toward their customers.
Is there ever a point where it could be far enough to be considered a parametric trigger? Could it go that far? Or I know on the motor side, you're always going to struggle to kind of know exactly what's happened, even with the integration with like the IoT devices. But do you think it could ever, will it go that far? Because you're getting a near instant decision on what's happened and the damage. How quickly are people managing to make payment utilizing your technology?
I think until today, we actually facilitate until the decision of the claims. And of course, the payment depends on how the insurance company is going to pay them, because some of them, they still do check.
Of course.
Bank transfer still, and some of them, they're using some insurtech or some payment gateway that pretty fast. So for us, until the decision of the claims, within a day or maximum three weeks. 3 days, maximum 3 days. Normally it takes 3 weeks.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like getting that down is like the key thing. One of the complaints people have is this is so slow. Just being able to take this. And how much is your business in the? Is motor still the prominent part of the business? How has property and phone taken off? Is it good growth?
60%. Let me see. Around 60% of our claims are actually motor claims. And also, by the way, when I talk about claims, not only for claims, also for fleet inspection and so on. So it's about 60% or 70%, and then the rest of them it is non-motor, including property, including so how you call that one? Baggage claims.
Yes.
Phone.
And with your insurance partners, I'm interested to see how they've used the sort of. Have they used it to create new products? Like there's an enhanced product which has this as a service, or are they using it as a USP? Are they using it as a selling point? Do they all use it differently? Because it seems like, for me, it's a massive selling point. Like I would want my insurer to have this. I'm interested to see how they've used it or promoted this when they've adopted it.
Like for example, when we work with Generali together, right? And then they make a press release that's saying they are starting with us with using the virtual video inspection. So, and they want to announce this to let their customer know that Generali is moving towards digital and remote. And I think that's a good point, that they're trying to use this as the selling point to inform their customer. And this is one of the one step moving forward. To serve the better customer experience. Through in the claim process. So I think this is one of the way that they use it, and the other way around that once they have a substantial data to actually calculate the saving and so on, they might this is not directly but indirectly they might affect the underwriting and the pricing there, because maybe they can price more competitively.
Yeah, that's what I kept thinking back to that. I was like, thinking about reserving. I mean, I think how reserving used to be done. It was almost like, finger in the air, guesstimate, and and even if it wasn't a guess, it was the difference between the first notification of loss and then by the time we've had either loss adjuster go out or it's gone to a garage, so you've actually got some sort of accurate assessment. It was quite a long time. It would be a couple of days as a minimum. And this is when I worked motor fleet. So you would probably have a garage, or you would probably you'd have, they would have an accurate assessment of what's wrong with it. But even that, if you think about 3 days where you might be out by thousands of pounds, or you're going to be out by thousands of pounds. So it's quite remarkable how much it would have on reserving. And the stress that puts on an insurance company from a kind of regulatory standpoint. So it's really interesting.
Right. If you may, I want to add another point.
Please,
because whenever there's no evidence, and all the insurance companies don't have any evidence until the garage send you something, that's always skeptical, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because the best use case would be whenever there's a claims happen, right, and then the consumer and the policyholder right away inform the insurance company and get all the evidence before the car get into the garage, because when they get in the garage, anything can happen, right? So you never know. So that is actually in some region of in some of the market, that is very much a lot of fraud in this area. So they're also trying to see how they can educate customer to actually inform the insurance company first before going to the garage.
Interesting. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Fraud at the garage level is a massive problem.
They earn money, right? So,
and that's that. Yeah, that's a whole can of worms. I wanted to ask you about the pandemic and the impact COVID had on the business, because I would imagine did it really escalate adoption rate? Was there a lot more interest because it was harder to send people out to inspect on things like vehicles? So did it have a positive impact, or?
Yes and no. In terms of usage, yes, it's a great impact because the usage is getting higher. But in terms of getting new business, is not really, because all the insurance company are just getting busy to cope with the COVID first, and that's the first priority. So only after that they started to look around and do things. So in terms of assisting customer, the usage will be going up. But then in terms of getting new customers, then will be not so much.
Of course. And people weren't driving as much, are they? There was people leaving their cars at home, and of course, But I just think it plays into that kind of digitalizing the customer. So I wanted to ask you. This is changing gears slightly, talking about teams. You've got people all around the world. You've got a globally distributed workforce. I'm always intrigued as to how you manage that, and how do you split? Are you a development team in a certain location? What is where really with the business?
Oh, it is mixed for us. We are a development team in Germany. We are a development team in Southeast Asia, and then we have sales team here, obviously, and then. And then some of the administrative things also in Southeast Asia. So so this is how we distribute. And of course, managing a distributed team and remote team is not easy. There's a lot of overhead that you need to taking care of, how you communicate, and there's always some sort of different kind of accent. So they call it like a language barrier. You would say, right? So there's always these kind of things that you need to take care, and then understand each other, and then time zone management as well. So these are the things that we are learning. We are I think we are pretty good, but of course there's still a lot of room can improve in terms of optimizing the remote working working team.
How do you? I'm always intrigued about like culture, keeping the culture like the same in different locations. Do you think it needs to be the same? Like, do you think you need the same culture, or is it okay to have a different culture in different, like in the different offices? The business working culture, because I remember I used to work for a couple of really big businesses, and you'd go and you'd work in one of the other offices, and you'd go, it feels like a totally different business. And I think that's kind of interesting, but at the same time, I'm like, I wonder if that's a positive or not. So I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah. I mean, you totally touch a like a practical point here, because I mean, you can try to kind of have like a same culture, kind of like at least at the very top, or kind of in the top direction, top cultural direction. Yet if you go to the locally, like let's say you go to Vietnam, they have different vibe. They have a different vibe when you sit in the office there and how they do things. They have a different vibe compared to the people like, let's say, in Germany or in Singapore. So they have the kind of different vibe again.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're with them, it's slightly, you feel like remotely, sometimes you can still feel like you're like a family. But then, of course, if you be there, you really feel like you're really part of the big community or part of the community there. And then it's also very interesting if you have the chance to also visit your colleague in a different office and maybe stay there a month. You're really like integrated in their local community, and that's also very cool.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting. I mean, we're starting with this, like we're not very remote anymore. We had someone in Barcelona, we've got people in London, we've got people in Brighton, but it's all quite small. It's not far away. But it is really interesting because they bring different. Even in our small company, there's just like a different feel when you're in different places. So as you scale it up, I'm always intrigued about how people keep that company culture. I wanted to talk to you about, the future. We touched on it earlier, actually, but you guys seem to be innovating faster than I can think of good questions to ask you. So I wanted to see from your point of view, like what excites you out there that's not MotionCloud, that maybe in claims tech, that have you seen anything that you think is really interesting, or that you think might be something that you could integrate into MotionCloud as you sort of increase the services? What's interesting you at the moment in InsurTech?
I think one of the things that I think we are very kind of try to take a look and then try to kind of have a little bit of a taste of it would be the self-driving car technology. Because that will impact many industry, not just in terms of driver industry, in terms of OEM, in terms of workshop. All these things will be tremendously differently and maybe disrupted as well. So those are the things that we actually need to be aware that will happen, but that will happen, and we need to prepare ourselves for this kind of disruption. For example, I don't know. Did you heard about that? In Hamburg, in Germany, you can have an Uber that is no driver inside.
I didn't know
driver inside, but then there's a driver that is remotely driving the car.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I'm going to Hamburg I'm going in about 2 weeks. I want to be in a driverless car.
By the way, it's not Uber, right? It's called something else. It's called something else.
I'm definitely going to do that. That's really amazing.
It's a taxi that without a driver, but then it's driving itself because it's remotely driving by somebody sitting in the home or at the office.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
You see, right? You see, there's a gap here, right? Uber, Lyft, right? They really send you. I mean, they're like a taxi, like a car rent. I mean, you can get the taxi quickly and drive off. But then there's a gap until the self-driving. So there's a gap here. So this company trying to serve this gap. No.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Have you done any stuff, or have you tried to do any stuff with the sort of more directly with the car makers, or are any of those interesting? Because they've been white labeling their own insurance products. Tesla obviously had its own insurance. Surely this fits in with their sort of kind of technology. Have you had any of those partnerships?
Yes, we actually still in a discussion in one of the Asia manufacturer or car manufacturers. They actually want to have their own insurance company themselves. Yeah. And then because they have all the, you know what, sometimes you think about it, it's kind of no-brainer, because they have all the customers. Let's say, for example, you have one car brand, let's say, I don't know, let's say BMW or let's say local Chevy, let's say Chevy. And then this little company, they have like maybe 100 or 300,000 actually people that are actually driving their car. And if they offer insurance, then you probably can just serve these people, and with maybe even a better premium, and they have access to the data if the car is new, and all these things that can no-brainer, can just multiply the revenue of this car manufacturer. So I think it's pretty interesting. I think at the beginning they started to work with insurance partners, and they realized that. Then they learned a lot of stuff from them, and then they realized that they wanted to go their own.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. I mean, like a modern car, I was just thinking, particularly an electric car, you've got all of the data, and that most of them have cameras all the way around. So like with your technology, like they can see exactly what's happened. They've got all the readouts. Then they can you can have the photo of what's happened, and that's a real. And the people that typically have some of these newer cars are the early adopters of technology as well. So they'll love all of this kind of technology. So it's really, really interesting. I can't stop thinking about that driverless Hamburg car now. I'm fascinated. Have you been in it? Have you done it?
No, I didn't watch the news, and they say they started the beta test, and also I'm not so sure when they launch it. It was quite fascinating. I mean,
I don't know.
Hopefully, there's no delay of like a signal.
I know. Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, from an insurance perspective as well, that must be quite interesting to see who's insured that as well.
Yeah, this is a new risk for sure. This is a new risk, and that's the risk that they have access. I think they have probably there will be cyber insurance for these kind of things, because everything remote maybe can be easily hacked. Not sure. All these things have to be take into considerations.
I mean, I'm going on Hamburg for a friend's 40th birthday, so we'll probably have had a few drinks. So I'll be feeling brave, so I probably won't worry about that. It'll just be a strange experience. But Lex, thank you so much. I always like to sort of finish like this now as well. But obviously, talking about the future, are you guys growing at the moment? Are you hiring? How should people reach out to you if they are interested in your technology? What's the best way to get hold of you?
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of ways. The easiest way is really go to LinkedIn and put my name, LeX Tan, LEXTAN. Then you can actually get me and then connect me and then send me a message, and I'm happy to engage with you. And the other way around is just go to our website, motionscloud.com. You see that this is motionscloud.com. With the S, remember there's an S there. Motionscloud.com. And then from there you will get a little bit of information about MotionsCloud, and then you can ask for a demo. We're always happy to show you some demo and get some of the taste of it. Then after that we can speak speak further to see how can we work together. And of course, please feel free to follow us on Twitter as well. We're on Twitter.
Well, we'll put all the links in the below. But look, sure. I've really enjoyed that. I'm such a nerd for anything claims technology wise. So it's fascinating, and it's a really interesting solution. So thank you so much for coming on, Lex. I really have enjoyed this one.
Thank you so much, Alex. I really appreciate for the invitations, and I hope all the audience really enjoy another podcast. And reach out to us anytime.
Thanks, my man. Take care. Bye.
Bye.